Hey, welcome to Route 66, our journey through the Bible, heading right through the Bible. We're in Proverbs. We're getting near the end. We only got a couple of days more of reading through these Proverbs. It's just kind of like it seems like every verse has something really neat. Now, my encouragement to you is I know you have one version of the Bible that you usually like, but sometimes you can read these Proverbs in different versions and they say it just a little bit different, especially some of the modern versions and even paraphrases. The paraphrases like the Living Bible or the Message, they're not actually versions of the Bible. They are somebody's thoughts along that line, but they can sometimes help us understand what it means, and they're really, really good. So that might help you as you read through these. Maybe capture one or two of those. But we're in Proverbs chapter 26, 27, and 28, getting near the end. And so this is what you're going to be reading. In Proverbs chapter 26, it highlights some of the foolishness of fools. You know, when the Bible talks, when we think of a fool, we think of somebody that's kind of, nuts. They do stupid things. Bible actually talks about a real fool as somebody that lives as if there is no God. And that is a foolish way to live. And so keep that in mind when you read through this and you hear about a fool. It also warns of the danger of being lazy, the danger of gossip, the danger of deception and lies. It offers some pretty good images and thoughts of foolish living. And so that's what Proverbs 26 is really a lot of negative things to stay away from. And then Proverbs 27 teaches the value of true friendship, good friends, personal growth through correction, being able to accept correction, accept advice, accept constructive criticism, the wisdom of preparing for the future and looking ahead and planning, and that's an important thing. A lot of wisdom, just practical wisdom in chapter 27. And then Proverbs chapter 28 contrasts the righteous with the wicked. I really think this. I think it all starts with the heart. People that want to do right. There are people that want to do right, but sometimes they do wrong. And then there are people that want to do wrong, but sometimes they do right. God wants us to be heading in that right direction. Talks about honesty, fearing God, trusting in God to bring the blessings in our life. And so just some lessons that you feel. Fools repeat mistakes. Wise people learn from their mistakes and grow. Notice, both of them make mistakes. But a wise person will acknowledge it's a mistake, acknowledge it was wrong, even if the correction comes from somebody else, and tries not to repeat it. And that becomes wisdom. Second lesson, loyal friends will sharpen us. We need a good friend that will tell us when we're stepping out of line, when we're not where we ought to be. Will kind of kick us a little bit when we're, slowing down. And so it's good to have a good friend that will be able to, guard your back and be able to push you in the right direction. And a third lesson, those who walk in integrity are secure. They're going to be okay. They're not going to fall in the pits of mistakes. They're going to get back up and go. So make sure that your character, your integrity is in the right direction. You're honest with God and honest with others. So these are some great Proverbs as we finish it up here. So enjoy